Okay, we are going to do just a few more examples, and you're going to take some notes on how we can find decimal approximations of square roots that are not rational. So you're going to want to have your square root chart handy because this will really help you estimate and narrow down what two whole numbers the square roots are between. Okay, for the first few examples here, we have to find the square root of 25. Well, you know that's a perfect square because 5 times 5 is 25. Pretty simple for these. Square root of 49. You know 7 times 7 is 49. Now, there's a negative out front, so you have to put the negative in at the end. And for example 3, 3600. If you're trying to think, what times what is 3600? And you go to your square root chart, you might be able to find it, but it doesn't go up high enough. So what you can do, because we're not going to use a calculator for this, look at, well, the square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 2 zeros, 100, is 10. So you add 1 0. 60 times 60 is 3600. So that's a little bit of a shorter way. Okay, and we're going to do 2 approximations, and then you're going to do some on your own. This first one, we actually don't need to do this, the square root of 78, because you just did that on the notebook page. So let's estimate the square root of 5. First thing we will do, look at our square root chart. Okay, we want to find what two perfect squares it lies in between. So the square root of 5, well, the square root of 1, square root of 4, and 9. So it's in between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. So I'm going to record that on the number line. The square root of 4 and the square root of 9. Well, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, so I know all these numbers in between are in between 2 and 3. So 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, all the way up to 2.9. Now I have to estimate. The square root of 5 would lie somewhere on this number line. Obviously the square root of 5 is only 1 away from the square root of 4, but it's 4 away from the square root of 9. So you could try about right here, and this is just an estimation. So I'm going to try and see if 2.3 times 2.3 is close. 2.3 times 2.3 is 5.29. I got pretty close. And I'm going to record my work. 2.3 times 2.3 is 5.29. So that's a little bit too high. Now I'll try something a little bit lower, maybe 2.2. 2.2 times 2.2, 4.84. Okay, well, we just found one number that was a little bit too high, so I went the next tenth of a decimal down, and this was a little bit too low. Well, that tells me that the square root of 5 has to be in between 2.2 and 2.3. And remember, we're not going to use a calculator and just type in the square root of 5. We're going to estimate it, and the way you estimate it is by showing me your work like this. You show me the multiplication problems you did. You can use your calculator, but still record them on your paper. You should also fill in the number line so you can show your thinking. Let's try another one together. Square root of 52. So I'm going to look at my chart here and try to find the square root of 52. Well, I see 49, 64, square root of 49 is 7, square root of 64 is 8, 52 is somewhere in between there. So the square root of 49 and the square root of 64 is what is in, it is in between. Square root of 49 is 7, square root of 64 is 8. So now I know it's in between 7 and 8, but I want to get as close as I can. Now 52, that is pretty close to 49. It's 12 away from 64 and only 3 away from 49. So I am going to try maybe right here, 7.1. So I'll try 7.1 times 7.1, and that's 50.41. I'm going to record my work. 7.1 times 7.1 is 50.41. Okay, that was a little bit too low. So now I'm going to try something a little higher, maybe 7.3. 7.3 times 7.3, 53.29. So 7.3 times 7.3 is 53.29. That was a little bit too high. So I'll try 1/10 of a decimal lower. I'm going to try 7.2. 7.2 times 7.2, 51.84. Okay, well if I look at this, that was just a tiny bit too low. So that throws out the 7.1. So I know it's in between 7.2 and 7.3. Okay, what you are going to do now is go ahead and try the rest of the examples on your notes sheets. Push pause. When you are all done, you can push play, and then you'll be able to check your answers and see if you got them right. Okay, so the square root of 48 is in between 6.9 and 7. It's just a little bit less than the square root of 49. The square root of 135 is in between 11.6 and 11.7. And the square root of 8 with a negative in front of it, be really careful, is in between negative 2.8 and negative 2.9. Make sure you put the negative there because that's outside the square root symbol. Okay, what you need to do right now is raise your hand and show the guest teacher that you completed the 3 things from today. ISN page 61, page 62, and the 7.4 notes and the 3 examples that you had to do on your own. Once you have that done, you can close your laptop up, put it away, put your headphones away, and the guest teacher will give you your homework, which is a 7.4 worksheet. Make sure you show all of your calculations. So I should see what numbers you're multiplying by, even if you're multiplying by them on the calculator.